Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of Hot Rod Blues Podcast. I am your host, Sean Brereton, with the Auto Enthusiast Network.
And I'm Sean Young with Kingfish Metalworks. And, Sean, you have very special guests. And this is weird for me because I'm the only non-photographer in the room. Even my daughter is a photographer. So who did you bring with us today?
Right, yeah. So we have Brian Beers and Cole Thomas, both local guys that have pretty much made a name for themselves doing drag race photography and stuff. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to have you guys here. So obviously, Brian, you and I have known each other for a while.
Quite a while.
Yeah, and it's probably been 10 years?
Yeah, close to 10 years.
Somewhere around there.
Yep.
And Cole was probably still in diapers then, so. But
he's come a long way.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Quickly.
The kid's good.
Good.
Yeah. I definitely, I admire your work for sure.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So you guys both shoot on the drag strip,
Yep.
and pretty much exclusively, right? I mean, or do you make money other ways too?
I try to kind of get around all forms of the automotive stuff, diesel side, import side, drag racing, motorcycles, anything I can.
So are you doing like feature photography and stuff like that though? Or are you just doing, drag?
Kind of like a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'll go cover an event. If I find a car there, I'll do it while I'm there, and then, just do it that way.
Yeah. But, so neither one of you guys write though, right?
Not right now, Sean.
Not right now. Well, I'm looking for writers.
I know you are. We've talked about it. When I stop writing at work, I'll start writing for you. That's my whole day is typing, and
Yeah.
I get my peace behind the camera right now.
Yeah.
I'll need to get my money later, and then I'll have to go back to the keyboard to get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, it's
Pictures are good, but you need the words with the pictures to be able to sell it.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah, especially feature wise,
Right, right.
stuff that I do. So, hang on, let me turn my phone off because I heard my phone beep. I don't think that was me.
I'm definitely working my angles though with like driver's cards when I meet people. Hey,
Yeah.
I need this basic information from you. If you want to see your picture on the internet, you got to at least provide me this back, which gives me the beginning basics of
Oh, like a tech
to
card.
write it. Yeah, where I can write a little something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a feature, but it gets me in a corner on a page.
Well,
and
especially
just start that way.
Right, and especially if you're doing, if you're doing a lot of Instagram stuff,
Yep.
it's good to know what they have on the car. Do they have a comp cams in there? Do they,
Right.
and stuff like that, so you can tag those companies.
Exactly.
And maybe they'll reshare it and
Yep.
and build it that way. So, you guys probably have a pretty decent Instagram following. I know you killed it. Like, you concentrated for like a year on
I
kind
did
of building
a
it.
constant year, and to be honest with you, I haven't looked at Instagram
Yeah.
probably 10 months. Or
Really?
even I've probably done 2 posts.
Really?
You don't know. There's pressure, and I fell into if you don't get so many likes, do you still want it out there for people to maybe see a lesser product? How long do you leave it with 500 likes when you're used to 5,000 likes? And
Yeah.
it's like it just got in my head, and I was you read about people and how people commit suicide and crazy shit from how
Wow.
people drive on likes, and I was like,
Yeah.
I need to stop.
Slow it down a
I need to.
little.
So I
Okay.
basically don't want to say boycotted. I did other stuff through Facebook and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's helped me find a little bit of peace. And now I'm shooting different cars, and it's harder to find the same amount of likes, but I still like the car, so I don't care.
Yeah.
About the likes. It's not about who likes it. It's about
Right.
me wanting to put out there what I like.
Right.
So I'm trying to bend that a little more to be less influenced by the likes I get back and more about what I want people to see.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, that's fine. They can go
gotcha.
somewhere else and not like it.
Yeah.
Because the cars I'm seeing, nobody else is seeing them. And they're the old cars. I like a lot of the gasser stuff. I see a lot of S10s and a lot of Mustangs. I don't see a lot of the old stuff.
Right.
And that's what I want to preserve and get out there. So
Sure.
it's kind of been a reprieve. And some of the events, when I get to shoot an event that's not rained out this year, I plan on really bombing Instagram with it and trying to get some energy behind it again.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Nice.
Didn't want to steal it.
No, no.
Yeah, but it did. It played with my head. It seriously did. Because
Yeah.
you'd want to, how many likes did I get? How many likes? And I mean, I tracked it against other people's Instagrams to see, and it's like, what? No, you can't. You can't.
Well,
do
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
I mean that's where they suck you in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's two ways that they suck you in. One is the scroll thing, you know, the infinite scroll, and then that's how they suck in customers or you know the consumer,
Right.
And then all of the insights and stuff that they give you as a creator, you know, it's crazy though, because like, dude, so I never did reels.
Right.
You know,
I still have
I'm
it.
a photographer, right? You know, so
Yep.
so I popped up a couple of reels in the past week, 2 weeks, and like the first one got like 15,000 likes and stuff on it, and I'm like, what? Like, I mean, that's 5 times more than anything I've ever gotten, you know. And it was like, what? And so I put up another one. It's got like 14,000, and I'm like, how's this?
What's different?
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I mean,
Right.
the algorithm, the way that they've changed it so much is just, you know,
Yeah.
it feeds to it, and somehow I hit the right words on those particular pictures, because I also did another reel of a car that I just shot at Art and Speed that is, you know, orange. It's an orange Corvette with like the cream colored cove. It's like a really sweet car with an LS7 in it. It got like 200 or something, you know. So it was like, you know, you sit there and fight it and go, okay, what did I put on that one that I didn't put on the other one, and how does it work, you know?
Chevelles,
Cole, you can kick in anytime.
Chevelles, Novas, Camaros.
Yeah,
I can post a rust bucket, any one of those, and walk away with 34,000, or not 34,000, but 3,400 likes.
No
I
kidding.
can do a Ford Falcon, completely stock, beautiful, 300.
yeah,
And it's like, I know I got Ford fans out there.
yeah. Yeah, where
Even
they
if you're
at?
not a Ford fan, do you like
Yeah.
cars?
Yeah.
It's a pretty. I'm not.
Well,
I don't
yeah.
buy into any brand. I just want to see old, pretty cars.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I mean, not that I don't like new,
yeah.
pretty cars too, but
Yeah.
they all look the same
Yeah.
because they're all new. The old cars that are pretty, people have had to do stuff to them to keep them pretty.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, you know, that's where my bread and butter is, right?
Yeah.
Is with the old cars and stuff. So
Yeah.
it
Amen.
it means something.
Yeah,
You know. But,
sure.
But Cole, how you know? What do you do? A lot of Instagram posts and stuff, or do you even care?
So I have the bad habit of I'll go like on a spree for a couple weeks. I'll keep throwing posts out there every couple days, and then I just get busy and go 2-3 months without posting anything.
Yep. I do that.
And I don't know. I've made like 1 or 2 reels, but even those they don't really do
Yeah, they don't go
anything.
anywhere.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I think, you know, the thing is, it's all about the algorithm and the keywords that you pop to it and who shares it, right? I mean, that's the other
Yep.
thing is
Very much.
who sees it, who shares it. I've had a couple things that have been shared by, you know, larger companies and stuff, and that helps.
Get a street outlaw to share it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna
28,000
say, yeah,
likes.
you know all about the street outlaw stuff, right?
Yeah, I was looking August 22nd. August 17th, 2022 was my last post on Instagram.
Wow, that's crazy.
40,000 followers.
You're almost at a year. 40,000 followers.
Yeah.
God. I'm at 3,000.
But it was like,
No,
like
I'm
I
at-
said,
I'm at
though,
like-
you'd look
I'm
and
at-
it's like,
I'm at like 1,500.
how many of those 40,000 are active?
Yeah.
You'd think, you know, you could get a percentage of them to like something. And if not, you look inside yourself, what's wrong with the picture? Like you were saying,
Yeah.
what's wrong with it? Where's it out of focus? Why is this not as good as this last picture?
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be the same car. 12,000 likes.
Right. Just depends on who it was served up to.
The algorithm, how it pops in and out, and now
Time
I
of
know that
day.
if I did it, I couldn't look at it because I'm out of the algorithms. It would probably take me 7-8 months to get back into that cycle where I'll show up.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you just started posting regularly again, then it'd kick back up there pretty quick.
I'll need feedback from our tech guy on this.
Oh no.
I'm looking for, because you help me if you think this would work, you two. I don't do a lot of video,
Yeah.
but where I am and where I stand, some of it would be amazing stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking one of those like 3D or 3-dimensional cameras just on top of my head. Because I'm standing there, funny car chaos, boom, it blows up in front of me. I missed it with the camera.
But you get it with
You got it on the
360
camera.
on my head. Wherever I'm looking, it's looking. And I think I could see stuff. And to me, it'd be like maybe just start a different one and do just the burnouts. Or if something dramatic happens. But I think I got to do it this year. I got to find a way to integrate that, maybe into the reels.
Yeah.
Just doing reels and go, hey, here's a reel of
Yeah.
7 cool burnouts.
Boy, that'd be-
Especially when you get backup girls, because you know where my eyes are going to be. I'm not watching the car burn out. That's the advantage I'm seeing of the funny cars is they bring pretty girls with them to back them up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Bug of the year, Bonnie Lawson contacted me, and I gave her pictures for her poster that she did this year. So
cool.
I'm hoping
Wow.
when I bump into her this year, I don't mean figuratively, but when I bump into her, that she'll introduce me to some more, and we can actually, instead of me looking down track at them, get some pictures for the new calendar.
do
this
some
year.
actual shots.
Or if we
Right.
get into the pits, if I got the bug on my side, the crew's going to do whatever she asks. So I figure that's kind of my way into the pits instead of through the drivers. I want to work it through the bugs.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
I absolutely love that as far as the backup girls.
Yeah.
That whole thing, back from Jungle Pam, and love it, man. That is such a great thing to see.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, the nostalgia groups have brought that back for sure. It was something that a lot of people missed, I mean, at least old people,
Well, and the gasser group that I shoot with, that's part of how you get your wife, your girlfriend, your significant other, your granddaughter, even your daughter involved in what you're doing, and not just be standing in the bleachers or on the. I know all of them are fully competent to back their car up and bring it up and stage it. Yeah. But you want to put on a show. That's what it's all about. These guys aren't really running competitive. They're running who's got best tree, who's best at the ETs guessing it over the whole time, or most consistent. So they're racing themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put on
Yeah.
a show and you bring your girlfriend and she changes clothes. It's just like they're part of the big show.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. And I've been telling local promoters that do like the big rim stuff, I was like, man, you get a couple pretty girls to back those cars up.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll fill these, because as soon as as soon as the men are showing that there's women at the track, their girlfriends, their wives are going to want to come with them to the track. We're going to double who shows up. And I go across any event.
Yeah.
Because the women aren't going to be at home while their men are at work, or at home at the track watching these women.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing about, Ricky and Michael Neal.
Yeah.
Ricky, you're my guy. I love you, but I don't want to watch you back the car up, man.
That's funny.
I just don't want to see it. I'm sorry, man.
Hey, Ricky dresses cool.
And he does. The
does.
Coke pants and the crazy hats. I love it. But man, I'm sorry, homie.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's funny. But well, let's go, Cole. Let's talk to you a little bit, because you've been quiet over there. So you're 20, is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
20 years old.
Yep.
And you've been shooting photography since you were 13. You said.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And but like, when did you really get, I want to do drag racing photography, or like what was your?
That's really just how it started. Because it started, I just, my dad or my mom would take me to the track and just start taking pictures on my phone for fun, and that's just how it fell into place.
Yeah.
And it just started going up from there.
Are your parents racers?
No, my stepbrother races. I've got people in my family, like my great uncle, he bracket races down at Holly a bunch, and a couple of people. My parents aren't. My dad's always been into racing, but he's never, actually raced.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But goes to the track a lot and stuff. Yeah.
Well,
that's cool.
I'd like to get him to go with me a lot more, but
Yeah.
I also travel a bunch, so it's kind of hard to.
Easy on the table over there. Yeah. Brian. Sounds like an earthquake, man.
I think it was stupid cold, and it was raining was the first time I met you. We were standing underneath the crossover.
It sure was.
Because it was,
Yep.
and it was that first corner. Even the guys who all day could not drift through that first corner, as soon as it got wet, they could all of a sudden
Yep.
drift through it. So it was like great pictures on everybody after
All
it
the
got
way
wet.
through.
Yeah.
I want to say that was what, like January 2017 or something.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
Was it 2017? I'm trying to think. Was it at MIR?
Was that- yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been like, maybe
I
2017.
think it was 17.
Yeah, because I did go that year because it was raining.
It was either 17 or 18. I know that.
Yeah, very cool. So, how did you guys? This is a question for both of you. You can do it together, however. How did you decide what you were going to, like, what kind of camera you were going to use, and was it an influence from somebody else? What is your, you and I are both Nikon guys, I guess, and you're Canon, right? So somebody messed him up as a child.
So at the time I was getting ready to buy a camera, I did a lot of research, and at that time it really came down to they were so close that the decision was based on who in my circle shoots with a camera and what are they using. For the possibility of I can use your lens, knowing that either one of them, the lens across all the years would work.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had another friend shooting Nikon, and my sister had some Nikon glass from like the 70s, and I was like,
Nice.
I can
Still
play,
works.
and it does.
Yep.
And I have my oldest camera I use still that way with those lenses because they're all manual, but it's still cool. And that's all that influenced me was that I had other friends shooting Nikon, and if we wanted to swap lens, we could do it.
Yep.
If my friends at the time had been standing there with Canon, I'd be on the bad side shooting with Canon. I'm just,
I got you.
they're all. I think
I mean, I got Nikon because I knew a photographer, and he was like, "You gotta get Nikon."
Yeah.
So I got Nikon.
and now the same guy would probably say,
Yeah.
you need to go get Canon.
Yeah.
Because this year
right.
it's the flavor is the honestly the Canon digital is doing a little better on some of the colors than the Nikon, but it's like next year it'll be Nikon going, hey,
Right.
we're a little
Back
better,
and forth.
or the real expensive digital one is perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
yeah. The
you buy it for-
Z9 or whatever.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Not for my wallet. It's
Yeah,
not.
Right. Because what are you shooting?
I have a D500 that I shoot most of the times, like all my day stuff, and then I have a D850 that I shoot with a flash at night.
Okay. Nice.
Just-
So what are you rolling with over there?
Canon 6D Mark II, and then I've got a 780-200 and a 16-35.
Okay. So you used just two lenses, pretty much?
Yeah, that's it.
Dude, so I pretty much use two lenses. I use a 70-200 and a 24-70, which is on that camera right now. And now there's a couple I want.
Couple.
Yeah.
All of them,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, all
All
of them.
of them.
Yeah. But I mean, there's one more that I need, I think. I'd like to get a 14-24 because, I have to shoot a lot of interior shots.
A lot of close-up stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And when I'm sitting, if I want to get a shot of the dashboard, you put the seat all the way back, even on 24, man, you're still like leaning
Right.
way back to get it. And,
Right.
And so
That extra 10 would really just help it out a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
I have a Tokina that if I'm not careful, my toes will be in the picture. It shoots so wide. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
it
Oh,
shoots.
wow.
It's like
I've got a Sigma 10 to 20, but like it'll fish eye, and then it looks goofy to me. So I stay away from it. And it's it's a crop lens, and I'm shooting full frame now. So
Yep.
So the Canon is that a digital camera?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is it mirrorless? Sorry.
Okay,
No,
so
no,
I
it's
know
full
he
frames.
has never shot film. I mean, as young as he's never.
In his defense, I shot film like when I was like 5 or 6 when my mom had a Canon EOS Rebel,
Oh yeah.
but I never developed film. I never
Right,
nothing.
funny story. I shot a lot of film.
Did you really?
Push here, push PhD cameras. Push here, dummy. Right? No,
Yeah.
fully automatic.
Yeah.
Never ever did I expose any of them. I just took pictures with them, right?
Wow.
I'm in college.
So you have rolls of
No,
film?
no. So I go away. I'm at college. I come back home. My mom has cleaned my room.
Oh shit!
All my film has been exposed, and there's pictures of all, like 3 parties at her house.
Oh.
Kegs, people written words on their face and head. I'm like,
Whoops.
wow, whoops, exactly. Some of it was on the. Do you remember the disc cameras that shot on the disc?
yeah, right.
Some of it was on discs.
I remember
Some
that.
of it was on 35. Some of it was on. I don't even know. It was like a cartridge that went in the back.
Wow. Okay.
Several of them, but it's like I was really good at taking lots of pictures.
That's funny.
I was too cheap to even stop at the photo mat. So I go to college, come back, and they're all in a
and your
photo.
mom- and
they're
your
in
mom
a
thought-
photo album, and I'm like, I don't know if my neighbors told my mom. She was a counselor for adolescent children, and here I am at her house.
She quit after that then? That's funny, man. God. So you were even a photographer as a young guy?
Yeah, I've always played with cameras.
Yeah.
And I guess it wasn't until I got a DSLR that like my mind kind of changed
Yeah.
on, hey, instead of just taking pictures of 1,000 different things, let's get good at 1 or 2 things and let's figure
Right.
what is depth of field, what is aperture, how does aperture ISO speed, how, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And I haven't gone to any schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
me
just
neither.
taken tons of pictures. I've used
Yeah, I've got a lot that are trash.
have you ever heard of Flickr?
Yeah.
When I first started, I went to Flickr. I put in my camera and my lens as groups. And I'd go through those, because those were pictures exclusively taken at that time with a D90 with my 70 by 300 lens,
Yeah.
just to see what people were doing. And then I'd look at their settings on the camera. I say, okay, here's my starting point next time I'm out. And like moon pictures, I'd Google best setting for D90 70 by 300 this lens to go
Yeah.
take a moon picture.
Yeah.
There it
Okay,
is.
I dial it in, go out, pop. Nope, that's not right. Pop, 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 pop. Those are all great.
That's
Yeah.
a good way to do it. I never even thought about Googling like how to shoot something.
Are you kidding?
I've
Are
always
you
You can
kidding me?
you can put your whole
serious.
You
Do
can
everything.
put your
Google.
whole camera body lens combination and say best setting for.
Look, that tells you how old I am, by the way.
Right,
Like I don't think Google it first. I really
Wow.
don't.
What year were you born?
I do. I'm old.
I'm older than you, I believe.
What year?
70.
68.
I'm
there you go.
69. So yeah,
You're
okay.
you're just more tech savvy than me, I guess. I don't
No,
know.
I'm lazy.
Right? Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in the library, and Google is a library.
Yeah.
I used to have competition with a brother-in-law on who can use Google with the least amount of searches to get the answer to some crazy ass stuff. Like,
Wow.
what do the colors on your vest on an aircraft carrier mean? There's a yellow, there's
Yeah.
a, and it's like, what's the least amount of words that I can put in there and get a response back that'll
su-
answer that question?
That's super nerdy, Brian.
It is, but it's like you get to the point where it's. I was trained at one time. Define your problem in 5 words or less, or you don't know your problem. So
Okay.
to me, I try to figure out how to ask that question within Google, 5 words or less. And if you're very specific, there's another idiot like me that has the answer in there that's specific.
That's funny, man. I ain't thought about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've always just kind of gone and tried different stuff, and I know generally where I'm supposed to be, but I still get messed up on flash photography and stuff like that.
Me too.
It's the John Jackson thing. John Jackson can go and.
Who's John Jackson?
So John Jackson is not stock photography. He
Okay.
shoots all the cars for Good Guys, pretty
Okay.
much like any Good Guys winner. Shoots a lot of stuff for everybody.
Gotcha. Well, good photographer.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay.
Lives in his van pretty much and drives around the country
Down by the river.
Mountain bikes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
takes awesome
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah,
Amazing
he mountain
pictures.
bikes and takes amazing
I
pictures.
don't know who does his.
I'm jealous.
Who goes and finds where he takes all these pictures?
He does. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. He finds that's what I really want to talk to him about is how he finds the places he finds. But then again, here's the deal. He goes to an event or he's on his way to an event. He's driving. So he's finding, like he
Right.
has time to scout places and whatever. Like if I'm going to Vegas for muscle cars at the Strip or something, I'm flying in there, I'm renting a car or whatever, and then I'm at the event,
Right.
and I'm gone. So I don't have time to drive around up in the mountains and find this really cool spot,
You
So
gotta wonder what his mental catalog or physical written down catalog of. There's never been a picture taken. I've never
places.
taken a picture here, but
Yeah.
that's cool for rat rod. This
Yeah.
is a cool for
Yeah.
trucks because the
Right.
guy's a farmer and it's got
Yeah.
this or that and
Yeah.
and knowing what the sun's going to be like. at
Oh,
the
yeah.
time. I mean, there's a
I
whole.
mean, yeah, it's amazing. I struggle to do it, especially like, I shoot cars for Art and Speed out in Collierville, and I gotta take the car someplace and shoot it. Well, I can't like
Close in
I can't go and drive it to Arkansas or something and put it in the foothills,
Right.
So I have to.
They need to give you a light painting room
Yeah, I know,
that,
right?
that we can co-share, and you
Hey,
come teach me.
There was supposed to be an area within Art and Speed when they moved to the new building that was supposed to be for photography, and they outgrew that place before they even
Yeah.
Wow.
really even moved into it.
There goes that, right?
Yeah. So here's my thing, and you guys are invited to use it. I'm putting a 60 by 40 on the front of this thing, and one corner of that thing is going to be
Light paint
for photography. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's the thing is like, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I want to put an infinity wall in there. I don't know if that'll happen though, because those are super expensive. The kind that like we can't tell. It's just the
Yeah.
car. That'd be really cool.
You
but
can do an infinity curtain,
yeah,
fabric curtain that comes down on
Yeah.
the ground and goes up. Because I see
Yeah,
people
maybe underneath.
people do that for people photo
for
shoots all the
portraits.
time
Yeah.
for portraits. So
Yeah.
you could easily
Yeah.
come up with something for.
I have to do something. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the configuration of this room and that room when everything's together.
Well, right here in the middle of the museum will be a cool spot to light paint too.
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
your toys and
Yeah,
track
once I get
and-
everything there, yeah, because I'm definitely going to leave the middle pretty much open here because if I put the car on the trailer and stuff, I want to be able to back the car and trailer and truck in at the end of the night or whatever, and just so I don't have to unload everything and all that. So that would be really good.
It's just weird that I know so many photographers. I know all the ones at work. I know you guys. I've got another childhood buddy that's a photographer.
Yeah.
I don't know a single heating and air guy. That's something that I need, but I know some guys that can take some pictures, man.
I know a crap ton of plumbers for some weird reason.
Weird, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I do. I got like 4 close friends that are plumbers. So or something with the plumbing industry.
Could be worse,
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know.
you do. That's funny. Too funny.
But no, so well, Cole, like I love the brand of photography that you do, the way that you you're different. I think a little bit more than you guys both kind of do it, and you've gotten me to think that way when I go to my kind of events. Is you shoot the people as well.
Oh yeah.
You really get the essence of the event and the people, and you have kind of a little bit darker kind of look to it and stuff like that. So, I was always taught from the very beginning that, you shoot the bright side of a car and, you everything's lit and stuff like that. So I have a hard time, especially with Instagram people, how like everything is moody, everything's dark and you don't see, when you're taking a picture of a car for a car feature and stuff, you need to be able to see the lines of that car. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people on Instagram will forget that or not, or just ignore it is what I should say. And they'll get the sun setting behind the car and it's, the windshield is all, there's no polarizer on the windshield or anything like that and stuff. So you can always tell if it's an Instagram photographer or if it's a photographer.
Right.
I think, for the most part. So, but man, I love the stuff that you do. Like, what do you work with, like certain series, or how do you go about doing what you do? Because I mean, you're making a living at doing it. So how how do us like part timers? How do we do that?
So I do still live at home, and I do not make near enough money to live on my own doing it.
Okay.
But I'm making enough to where it keeps me floating, and I can cover my expenses to get to the next event and have a little bit of money in my pocket. But definitely not enough to live on my own and do this. But
yet,
right?
Yep. How many events do you do? Are you pretty much gone every weekend, or
Just about.
really?
Yeah, I may have a point in the year where I take a week or two off just to chill out and maybe take a week off from my birthday or something. But I mean, if it's not raining, 9 times out of 10, I'm at a race,
Yeah.
or I try to be.
Yeah. Wow.
Whether it's a race, car show, something, I try to be gone every weekend.
How do you fight burnout? Because I can tell you right now, I'm a little burned out between my day job and then my night job. Like it's been constant. So I get off of my day job and then I'm working my night job until 2:00 in the morning, and I still got more pictures to do the next night. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like really in the fall, getting closer to winter, doing my last few events of the year, I get really irritable and just sick and tired of it.
yeah.
But then it's off season, and I get 2-3 months off to just not think about it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of my relief at the end of the year. But man, it gets rough towards the end of the year, especially like middle of summer too, when it's hot every single weekend and you're just trying to fight it and get through it.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. August and stuff
It's
can
rough.
be pain in the butt, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, like when you go to an event, are you shooting specifically for a person or a company, or are you shooting for the event, or are you shooting for yourself and throwing everything out there hoping that somebody will buy something?
Yeah, it all depends on the event. Everything's different. Like there's been some events where I would shoot for magazine or drag coverage or any of the other companies, and then there's some weekends where I'm just going out, hope to sell a photo, and if I do, I'm making my money back and breaking even,
Yeah.
But yeah, it all just depends on the event. It's all different every time I go out.
Yeah.
So like me, I when you guys go out and you're getting paid by the I guess the promoters, but you also do like if somebody needs like a feature, how does that work? Is it just something you negotiate on site?
Yeah.
Or okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
pretty much. I've had I was just in Texas this past weekend, and another guy named Cole came to me on Saturday during the race. He's like, "Hey man, can you shoot my truck for me?" I'm like, "Absolutely." Took it out in the field, shot it, parked it back at the car show, and we were done. Simple as that.
Gotcha. Well, I guess does it work with magazines as well? I mean,
It depends on magazines. So
Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of times, what I'll do when I'm at an event, if there's a car that I think is going to be good for a certain magazine, then I'll take some pictures with my cell phone and shoot them off to the editor and say, "Hey, is this one good?" Because I've made the mistake of being like, "Oh, this one will be badass for this."
yeah.
I'm shooting it, and then I shoot it, and then nobody wants it or something. And you're like, wait a minute, what? A lot of times you don't think about it, but I mean, I should think about that because I was, editorial director. And I knew but like print magazines, a lot of times, hey, I've already got 2 red cars. I can't take 3. I need a blue
okay.
car,
I gotcha.
I've already got 2 Camaros, so
Gotcha.
you have to kind of, like all Chevy Performance, he's got to go and kind of be like, okay, I've got 2 80s cars, now I need a 50s car, or so
That
there's
makes sense.
yeah,
Right.
to
Yeah.
try and keep things fresh and different. So yeah, it's interesting.
That was part of the burnout with Instagram.
Yeah,
You're in there looking, what are the last 7 posts? What's something
Yep.
that's not one of those, or not that color, or not that angle,
yeah,
but is still relevant and important? And
yeah.
That's what I do every time.
you asked about burnout.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I first picked my camera up to fight burnout of my day job. And I still find peace even now when I'm burned out from work. That's still my peace. I have not been burned out on taking the pictures.
Editing.
Now sitting down and editing, I'm going to look through it. I'm going to find my top 20 pictures. I'm going to edit them tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to post them. The next day I'm going to look through. I'm going to find my next 20 out of that group that I like. And there's usually 4 days I'm going to do that before I shoot another event.
Yeah.
And it's like,
So
I hope I caught your car in one of the 100 pictures I'll post of that event.
Yeah.
And if you say, hey, do you have any more of this? Yeah, I'll shoot you proofs. They're probably not going to go on the internet, and they're not going to be fully edited or any of that. But I can show you what I got, and you can say, yeah, I'm kind of interested in that. Well, let me show you what it's going to look like, cropped as an 8x10 or 20x30, what I can do. Or we can put them all together on a poster. Like that.
Yeah.
Make a little more cash.
Right.
You sell hey, you only have to buy one frame.
Yeah.
Instead of 3 8x10s, you buy one 20x30, and I put all 10 pictures on that same poster.
Yeah.
I like a collage.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
And you can still put the background can be one full car, and you can use the bottom and the top to put little pictures. So
Yeah.
you can be real creative about it.
Yeah.
But I've found, excuse me, for me, I don't want to compete with my friends that are actually trackside photographers at the event selling their 8x10. That's how they make their living.
yeah.
So for me, how can I step it up for that guy who may have 22 of that picture
Right.
from every event he's gone to
Right.
by getting some return lane shots, some of he and his crew standing around in the staging lane around it, maybe a dad or a parent, somebody in the background shaking hands with them or before they get a helmet on, and then it's like, hey, here's your event.
Yeah. So when you go to an event, how many pictures do you end up editing usually? Just average, would you say?
So it's different. When I shoot the Dirty South Gassers, they tip me really well. So I make sure, like first night when I go home, I'll try to get, a staging, a burnout, a launch, maybe in the staging lanes, a picture of each one of the guys.
Yeah.
There's usually 25 to 30 guys. So I might take, 500 pictures, but I'm going to go through and try to find 4 or 5 of each one so that first night I can get something posted. So in the morning when they wake up and they're hanging out, getting ready to do it later in the afternoon, they've already got something up there to show.
Yep.
If any of them are oh, do you have more? Or I can usually go over and show them. I usually have more edited. I just don't have them all posted.
Yeah.
And I, laptop right there, I can pull up and show them whatever. But, and then I'll do that each day of the event that we're doing it. And then, like I said, between, Sunday and the next Saturday, I'll try to edit 20, 30 pictures a night to post the next day. But then we hit it's the next event.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting that.
Have-
I start editing on that. And
Have you ever been hired by an event?
yes.
So do you work out something with them that I will give you X number of photos?
Yes.
Edited photos and
Correct.
blah, blah, blah to use?
That's exactly
Yeah.
how I did it. And
So-
that was with Memphis at one of the first Street Outlaw events.
Oh, really?
Wow.
out
Oh,
of
good.
here.
So we can ask.
Yeah, yeah.
We can ask. So, how many were you? how many did you promise them?
I promised them 35 pictures because it was at night.
35 pictures.
30
That's it. 35 edited photos.
I said I'll give you by that night when the
Okay.
event ended.
Okay.
Remember, we were there till 12:30.
Okay.
So I sat in the parking lot and edited pictures in the parking lot.
So
I
they
could-
had something in
so
the
that I
morning
could get them
post.
to them so they get them
Okay.
posted. Then I think I ended up doing another 100.
Okay.
But it was not a big event.
yeah. Okay.
And it was all at night. And I had told them that straight up front that,
Yeah.
it's night.
tough
So
at
there's
night,
it's
yeah.
very difficult to,
Yeah.
fill and spam your page with pictures when it's all at night.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
So what about you, Cole? Have you done just strictly events, and what is it? Like here's the reason I'm asking. I shoot a crap ton of photos and I edit every photo, and I can't do that anymore.
No.
And it takes me forever. Now, granted, what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll throw out the ones that are out of focus.
Yeah.
But if it's in focus, I'm editing it.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
I did about 5,000 pictures for muscle cars at the street.
Wow.
Well, see, but to me, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna, like I said, I see you. There's 3-day event, so at some time during the event, I know you're there about sunset, and I can get you in the staging lane with the sunset behind. There's a picture. I got you doing a really good burnout where I was right at the tree, and you were burning out, so I was right in front of you, so a head direct on shot. Then I got a nice launch shot of you. So 100 cars. That's 300 pictures. I have 3,000 pictures.
Yeah.
Because I got your wheelie. I've got 4 different angles of your
Right,
wheelie.
right.
So I'm not going to edit all 4 of those. Now, you may contact me off that first wheelie and go, I really like it. And I can tell you, hey, I've got more wheelie shots. So if you want to do one of those like progressive type wheelie type photos, we could do that. We're an 8x10 in series.
Yeah, because
or
I've
on
got
a coaster.
I've got a great one.
But I'm not
Mustang.
doing them all for free just to do it. And then the other thing I can tell you is get it right in the camera, and there's a lot less editing.
Oh, right.
Sure.
I agree with that, but I still.
I
don't know.
still do stuff. I get it, but it's like I've found where I end up doing more editing is when I don't do manual settings on my camera.
Oh yeah, right. No,
So-
well, yeah.
so-
So, I
and-
shoot in aperture mode most of the time, which wouldn't be good for you guys, right? But for me, when I'm walking around at a car show, the aperture's not changing that much. So I'll just do aperture priority on it or whatever, and then I'm down at f2.8, or if I have to crank it up a little bit more to f4 or something, I'll do it, or crank it down. I guess it is. There you go. See, I don't know the
2.8,
lingo and all that.
the bumper's in focus, but
Right.
the number on the window isn't.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So don't aim at the front bumper. You
Right.
got to aim at like the tire so
Right,
that you get
yeah.
that little
Somewhere halfway in
bit of the
between.
front's focused, and you still get, or you shoot it at 4.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of times what I do at car shows, one of the shots I really like to do is a straight on shot of the car, and you put it at 2.8, like on the grill, and then by the time it gets to the windshield,
is washed.
It's out of
Oh, yeah.
focus.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Just different artsy kind of stuff, But it does only work for stuff. But Cole, what about you, man? What was like, what kind of how many photos do you normally edit from an event or whatever?
So my process would be like I get home on Monday. All Monday is for me is cherry picking through everything that I shot. That'll be my initial import into like Lightroom, and then
Do you cherry pick them before you put them in Lightroom, or so you using like Camera Raw or something? Well, I don't know if I think Nikon. I think Camera Raw is just a Nikon thing, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, you don't shoot RAW? Good Lord, do you shoot RAW? Okay, yeah. I'm like, what?
So hold on. Now I know what that is.
Raw.
And,
Yeah,
and,
right.
And I know that
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not everybody will understand this.
Right.
Okay. So
If I'm doing
cameras will shoot-
non-stock
Yeah.
photo,
yeah, RAW.
I'm shooting
Yeah.
raw. If
Okay.
I'm shooting 3,000 pictures
Yeah.
that I've got to like run through Lightroom and do other stuff, I'm getting it right in the camera.
I can see that then, I guess. All right, so to explain to people what RAW is and what JPEG, there's RAW or JPEG. So JPEG is kind of, I guess, processed in the camera. RAW is raw. It's actually just the data of that picture. So it allows you to manipulate that photo a lot more. You can go and change colors, and you can do a lot more with a raw photo than you can with a JPEG. It's a bigger file.
Bigger file? Okay.
Yeah, much bigger. It's probably 2 to 3 times as big as a JPEG.
Okay.
And a JPEG will be a different size depending on, most cameras like these will do a small, a medium, a large, whatever. So,
Gotcha.
So a different format and things like that. But,
And like fine and extra fine
right.
within that.
Yeah, right. So so you have that, so you can do it normal or fine or extra fine and stuff like that. So, so you end up with all these files that are huge. Now, most of the time I shoot both. So
Can you
my
do both
my
at the
camera,
same time?
yeah, my camera has the ability to shoot as a JPEG and RAW.
Oh, okay.
And so what I do is I'll shoot a JPEG in like medium, so it's not a real big file, but I'll shoot RAW for
Same card or
Everything
2 different
else.
cards?
same card, and then I pull it out. But it's like, but I don't know why I shoot anything. I don't know why I shoot anything but raw because I'd never ever use anything straight out of the camera. So it's dumb for me, you know. Like,
So
but, yeah.
I've got a weird question, and let me kind of explain my childhood. I kind of grew up around cowboys and rodeo and that kind of thing. So my father in the photography, that he ended up with, there just weren't a lot of people that did that kind of thing. And I had seen photographers, at rodeos just get annihilated because they're looking through the camera and and they just get run over.
Oh yeah.
So when I'm watching you guys,
it's scary. Like when you're all the way out on a 200 millimeter lens,
yeah,
and you've got that car in focus, and it comes up or what. I've had 2 close calls on the drag strip. I'm sure y'all have had many more than me. But I mean, I had one that the car came down. Actually, it was the green '56 Chevy at Gasser at Bowling Green. He's always known for doing wheel stands. So I'm out there like, whoo, I'm gonna get these awesome wheelie shots and whatever. And man, he came out and went left, and I'm like, I think he's coming at me, and I got a picture of the oil pan. It's like, oh crap! And he actually hit the wall right beside me, like sparks flying off of it, And I just kind of stepped back, but at the same time, like everybody up in the stands was like, whoa, But I was like, I don't know.
I've had 2 closer calls in the parking lot than standing trackside. Seriously, I was laying on the ground for a low angle shot, and a guy started his car up, and I had my earbuds in. I couldn't hear him on noise canceling, and he almost backed right over me. Somebody had to hit the trunk of his car to get him to stop because I didn't hear or see him. So now it's like I like to take my son as a spotter. I'll pay him for here. Wear my backpack to be sure nobody runs me over in the parking lot.
That's hilarious.
Or I'll actually go into somebody's area and say I'm going to shoot that car, but I'm doing it from here because you guys aren't going to run me over.
Yeah.
It's
so we're both
both of them were kind of that
Yeah.
same scenario where.
What about you, Cole? Have you had any?
I've had a few.
Yeah. I'll admit, man, the scariest ones are the damn turbo cars.
Oh, I've had them hit the wall either side.
Yeah.
That's still not. I felt safer
The other thing with the turbo cars is like because I like to get down track a little ways when I shoot on the track, and that's where their power comes in.
Yeah.
And that's where they're starting to lose it,
Yep.
Up at the top end, or not top end, but
the big end.
Yeah, no, 300 feet out or whatever. So that's scary. So what do you got? What kind of stuff do you got?
I'd say the worst one I've had was, what year did Marcus Burt take flight at South Georgia? Was that 2020? I think it was.
I don't even remember.
Marcus Burt at Lights Out, I think it was 2020, South Georgia Motorsports Park, came by me. I'd say, he was on the bumper when he came by me, went past me and proceeded to fly probably 25, 30 feet through the air.
Yeah.
And landed on all 4 wheels.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That was insane.
Is that the famous one where he gets airborne and he pulls the chute and the chute pulls him back in?
No, I don't know. There are so many turbo cars now that are taking off on the top end because they've got it so that the boost comes in later because the tires can't handle it off the line anymore. So they have the boost, ramping up as they come down they get to the top. Well, that starts to lift the front end.
The killer cab
did
it at Huntsville at 300.
Yeah. It's just up in the air. And
a lot of them now, their boost is coming in between 60 and 100 feet.
Is it really that soon now? Wow, that's crazy. It just seems like I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know. I don't know what it is. If it's the wing or what that's
the right foot.
Yeah, right. yeah.
Bigger turbos.
I was gonna say those guys.
Better injectors.
Those guys do have a problem like lifting the right foot. I think
I don't blame them. I get it.
Well,
you got to win, man. Yeah,
last year's best technology is last year's best best technology.
Yeah.
You're in the business. You know that what you sold last year, if you want to sell it this year, it's got to be better,
Yeah.
improved.
Yeah, bigger,
Yeah.
more improved.
And
Heck yeah.
it starts with, oh, hey, here's these new valves. And then all of a sudden it's, oh, I need new headers. And I need new heads. And then a bigger turbo.
Yeah.
And then you blow it all apart and
I
start
was-
all over.
I was gonna say drag race guys really are notorious for it too. I think I gave Clay crap about it. It was like he's a drag racing guy and couldn't leave something
Yeah.
stock, and like drag race guys are probably the world's worst about like oh, I'll just put this on there. I'll just put a little bit more on there. I'll go a little bit faster.
Yeah.
I just want to go 10s. I want to go 9s. And then, and then next thing you know, it blow it up and go, they start back again at the beginning. And,
I get it. You know,
keep doing it.
And I've hung out with two types. The one guy who every race there's something new on the car.
Yeah.
And there's a new problem with the car every time.
Yeah.
And it's not related to what they just changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're always chasing something.
Right.
And they got plenty of money to chase it.
Yep.
And then you got other fellows that if they change the torque on a bolt, they've written it down. Or they move the shock setting, one setting.
Yeah.
They've written it down. And when they make a pass, they come back and they're writing down the temperature,
Sure.
their numbers, and they're looking at it. And there's not many of them that really, I feel, do that like in the grudge game at all. But you see some of these bracket racers, they
bracket-
come
well-
out there and it's like,
Yeah. I mean, bracket guys have to, they got to be dead on, right?
Every time.
And it's crazy how much they pay attention to weather and
You have to.
Yeah,
You
temperature
got to
change.
stay organized. You got to stay
Yeah.
on top of everything all
Yeah.
the time.
yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
and my favorite picture is when they're just out there checking their tire pressure. I'll tease it. And he wins another round because of tire pressure.
Hey, tire pressure means a lot.
It does.
We learned that from Michael Neal.
Absolutely.
when Michael and Casey were talking about their troubles down there in Ennis, was,
Not enough tire pressure?
It was. I think it was too much tire pressure. They were running too much tire pressure. And,
Okay.
And
wheelie bar height,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, wheelie bar height was the other thing. And this guy came over and said, "You got too much tire pressure, and you need to go the other way with a wheelie bar." They did those two changes. Boom, made pass down.
That's
down the strip,
amazing.
so.
Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Little things like
I
that.
know,
you
yeah.
know?
That's how it works. So
Especially when
all
it
those-
comes to those, yeah.
All those little things work together to make it work.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, same thing with photography, right?
Yeah,
You know, it
exactly.
all depends on light and all that kind of stuff. So, do you guys shoot with flashes at the track at all? Nope.
No.
You
I don't use flash for anything.
even at night?
I will say, okay, the only thing I've used light for is some of my long exposures and light painting with, like, I'm sure you've seen some of the big rigs I did last year. Some of those did do light with that, but everything else is all natural.
Yeah.
I've been playing with Flash. I'm guilty.
know you've been playing with it.
Not off camera,
Yeah.
but on camera. The first time I really did it was Enos last year, Funny
Yeah.
Car Chaos at the very beginning because it was sunset and they were coming out and I was shooting.
Oh, yeah.
Sun was right in front of me, so the car was going to wash out if I didn't. But I got some great pictures out of it. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool. I'm shooting. I think playing off of other people's flashes at the same time.
Yeah.
It was. I got some stuff that to me was some of the best stuff I've ever shot with. Definitely the best stuff I've ever shot with a flash.
That's cool.
But flaming headers, the
Yeah.
stuff you're wanting to try to catch. So
Yeah.
it was
See,
impressive to me.
I don't know. I don't know if I've gotten. I guess I've gotten better at Lightroom and stuff. But a lot of that stuff, I'll just shoot it right, and then bring it up in Lightroom. That's one of the things I guess in shooting in RAW I can do that with. I can bring up the shadows and stuff in Lightroom and almost make it look like it's a
Yep.
flash.
Really?
Yeah. So I do that kind of stuff. And I was telling Cole before you got here
I'll
that
tell you this.
Lightroom just came up with a denoise AI setting in there now.
I'm excited
so that's,
to try
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
yeah,
cool.
big deal.
Try that and I'll just say like Holly Springs that has no light at all.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Hey, I will
I mean,
say they have
if
made
you don't
upgrades.
have something,
yeah.
I don't know if shooting raw is going to help you either. I mean, I'm telling
No,
you that. Like,
yeah, I probably wouldn't. No, you'd have to. You have to
will
be able
say-
to bring it up enough. Yeah.
Since they added the new lights down there at the water box, it's gotten a lot better.
It has.
Like, I actually like doing water box and stuff down there at night now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah,
gotten a
because the
lot
water box used to be
Really dark.
it's
And
quite a bit back.
Yeah.
isn't it?
it's further back now.
Is it really?
The water where the fence is, they moved the water trough to the fence.
Oh, at the fence. Wow. So,
so
that's
you roll
that's another.
you roll through the fence,
That's probably 10
burn
feet back at
10
least.
feet back.
Yeah. Wow.
Which if you're standing behind the fence where you used to stand, you're now getting hit by rocks. And stuff. They're out there blowing the 40 feet in front of the building now out in staging. They're blowing the rocks off that now because they're shooting that far out.
Yeah. So Holly Springs is a 1/8 mile track that's our closest track now in Memphis.
Yeah,
For sure.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I know. I know there were rumors that Memphis was going to get bought, and I guess it's a rumor and it's done.
No. So I think it's official now. Don Baskins was going to buy it, and
I think his money
everybody
went to
just
Jackson.
started playing around, and he ended up going and buying Jackson Dragway, and he's already dumping money into Jackson Dragway. So
Wow.
and Jackson is an 8 mile track, and I think he's not going to extend it to a quarter mile, but I think he's going to fix the very end of it and make it a little bit, shut down in case of something. Because
Probably easier to
Yeah.
turn around.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know they added the extension on the right side for the dragsters to be able to turn around easier, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll
They've
add
had
on to
3 or
that.
4 people that have
yeah.
gone all the way through the field on the other side.
Well, that was the thing too. There was a big ditch there, and I
Yep.
know that they're filling that in.
Yep.
Because Preston Davis ran
They had-
off in
they had
sucker.
2
and-
cones.
Yeah, that was where
You
Preston
went through
broke
the
his
2
back.
cones, or you were in the ditch.
Yeah. So there was some things around that are problems. But
So Preston, that was the place that he went into the ditch.
Jackson. Yeah, he went over the ditch.
Wow.
Actually,
And like,
cleared it.
and
Good for
like,
him.
and like,
I believe so. Yeah.
like 4 or 5 tumbles of his dragster out into the
I don't
field.
think he rolled.
Well, that's the distance out.
Oh, yeah,
It'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
like 5 or 6
Yeah.
Yeah.
dragster
Yeah, he went.
distances out
He
into
went
the
out
field.
there a
Yeah.
ways. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think of other questions to ask you guys because I had like a billion that I should have wrote some down. Of course, but I mean, we're gonna have to get you a floating table.
You're killing me, Smalls.
or less beer.
He's testing your editing ability. Now I just hit mine.
Furthest distance I've driven for a
Yes.
race,
There you go.
How far?
Denver, Colorado.
Nice.
World
nice.
Series of Pro Mod, the first one they had there. And then they figured out, because it's at altitude, nobody knows how to run there. Everybody's afraid to run their cars because they would start it up and they'd be like, that doesn't sound right. It's like, it doesn't sound right because you're a mile high and you
Yeah.
were tuned at 300 feet.
Yeah, you gotta change your tune.
Yeah.
Right.
And their tuners are like, nah, it's all right. It should sound like that. And everybody's like, still doesn't sound right. They're like, it'll sound right. Once you get on the pedal, it'll sound perfect. But it was interesting.
Yeah.
That's the furthest. Denver. It was a full day's drive, like 20 hours.
Wow.
That's a long day.
What about you, Clay? You've been Clay. Sorry.
Jim, Ted, Gary.
Cole.
So let's see. I've ridden very far to races, but as far as actually driving myself, nothing impressive. Like
Yeah.
4 hours to
So you
Steel.
What have you ridden with
Yeah.
teams before?
Oh yeah.
You went to Bradenton, didn't you? Florida?
Yeah, but I flew.
Well,
Yeah.
don't matter.
Okay, well if
I'm
we're
just
doing
saying that
all right, if we're
furthest
doing
distance, whether you fly, drive.
Well, I was gonna say that.
You've been to Las
means-
Vegas.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
awesome
if
for
we're
you.
doing it
International
that way,
Association.
the furthest I've ever been was Vegas for SEMA.
Yeah. Nice. How'd you like SEMA? You only been
It
once,
was insane.
isn't it?
It was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
it was fun. The bad part of it was I got sick on like the very last day, and then the trip itself was already killing me. And then we got back to Nashville, and I got food poisoning.
Oh.
Yeah, we flew back into Nashville at like 3 a.m., got up at 7, and went to work with the guy I was staying with and flew out with the team. Anyway,
Yeah.
we stopped for lunch. I get food poisoning at lunch, and then it's terrible. Mom had to come up there and get me, bring me home. It was bad.
That is horrible, dude. That is horrible.
So SEMA experience was great, but also kind of
Until-
sucked. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but no, it was fun.
Yeah.
That was definitely a wild experience.
Yeah, I've been there a few times, so it's like, yeah, I've never been for fun. That's one thing.
Wow.
I would really like to go to SEMA once where I don't have to work it.
And see, that's a massive game changer too, because that's how I look at SEMA, PRI. It's like from a photographer standpoint, it's not all that fun.
No.
But I can see it from a spectator standpoint of why it's so enjoyable. Like I get that.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, I mean it's a cool experience. Sucks to be a photographer, but it does because there's so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you really want a picture of something,
You're gonna be sitting
Yeah.
there about 10, 20 minutes
right?
waiting.
And everybody and their brothers already take a picture of it too. So it's
Yeah.
like they've gotten a little bit nicer about allowing media in earlier. If you're media and exhibitors can kind of get in earlier as well. So it's kind of nice. One night we just stayed and just kind of made sure that there were, like, if there were any security walking around or whatever, that we just stayed away from them.
Yeah.
And we shot a lot of cars at night once. That was really cool.
Especially if you could get some lights out and do some light painting,
Light
that'd be
painting.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
That would
really
be
cool.
sweet.
But they leave lights up for quite a while there,
Nice.
so it'd be neat. But so how do you guys make your money? I mean, like, you ain't got to tell me what you make or whatever, but like, are you making the majority of your money off of going to the event or off of sales of your prints and things like that?
Yeah.
Sales off prints for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same for you, Cole?
Pretty much. It's a combination of selling prints, selling the digital copies, and then if I'm going to an event, if I can get a couple sponsors on board that want to advertise, I can get paid that way too. Or if I'm at an event and somebody...
Where do you advertise for them? Or are you, like, on your photos
yeah,
or whatever?
Yeah, it'll
That's
be like a banner
good
at the bottom
idea.
of the photos.
Okay.
And then if I'm at an event and, like, we were talking about the features, if somebody wants me to do a feature while I'm at the event, pay me. We take the car on track, shoot it, and
Yeah.
do it that way too.
Yeah.
Maybe we can work a deal. I'm looking for a sponsor, Sean.
Right.
Put Auto
Auto
Enthusiast
Enthusiast
Network
Network.
right across the bottom.
man.
I'll do a 100 photo album every race for you with your emblem up there.
I started AEN with this idea of it being a network of photographers for the network of car guys
Yeah.
and stuff. And well, I figured out that photographers don't really want to do that. But
That would be very secretive.
Really?
yeah. So, well, I wanted it to be so that, like all really high end cars and stuff, they get shot, right?
Right,
But
right.
but the average Joe that's got his pride and joy that's not, a $200,000
Right.
vehicle doesn't get those shots, right? So
And he'll make you more money than the guy with the $100,000 car.
Absolutely
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yep.
Because for a couple $100 for him to get something to memorialize his dream car,
Right.
it may not be your dream car,
Right.
but everybody's got their own dream.
Yeah,
It's a big
exactly.
It's a big deal.
And
Yeah.
and that was my thing was, okay, so you live in Boise, Idaho, and you want some photos of your car, professional, good photos. Who do you call? You call Auto Enthusiast Network. Oh, hello, yeah, I've got so and so in that area.
Sure.
That can shoot your car. I get you in touch with him, and blah blah blah. And then maybe I get $20 off of it.
It's like a photography
whatever.
guild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like
I'm
that.
with you.
But it never.
If it was an app, it would probably work better.
Yeah, maybe.
Everybody wants an app now.
Yeah, I was gonna say you want to set that app up for me? I'll do that.
Yeah.
But
that
no,
tech.
I mean so that was I just kind of just became me freelancing
Yeah.
at that point, So I think I only ever had one or two people call that for it, but at the same time I never really. I probably didn't put the time into it and the money into it to advertise it that way, because just the more I saw it, it was like all that's going to happen is that photographer in Boise, Idaho, is going to go to that person and go, "I'll do it for half of what he told you to," or and then
yeah.
Yeah.
So it meant that I had to be very trusting of that photographer, right? And so it just wouldn't work. So I don't know. So I just did
I like
my
the
own deal.
concept.
Yeah, it was a great idea. It was shooting up there at the stars, but didn't quite make it. So it's all right. It's all right.
Now you probably have enough people that follow you that you could just say, "Hey, do I have any fans that shoot in this area?" And you might get somebody.
Man, there ain't enough people to follow me. You kidding me? Nobody knows who I am, not even in the industry. So, like, everybody knows John Jackson. They don't know me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. But well, I'm trying to think of other stuff that I think that's the biggest thing is as photographers, what do you guys think about your stuff hitting the internet and like people using it and sharing it all over the place?
That's a great topic.
But you get no money off of it, right?
I guess the biggest secret and surprise
Watermarking, not watermarking, all that.
the biggest thing is the best picture of your car isn't on Facebook.
Where is it?
It's still on my hard drive.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put it out there for free.
Right.
Like I said, it's fishing.
But here's the
I'm
deal,
throwing
though.
a lure out there.
Yeah.
It's a great picture. You contact, "Hey, I like that. Yeah, I got better."
Yeah.
That's the hook. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to put, or the guy that before I even get home that's messaged me, "Hey, do you get any pictures of my car?" That's never bought a picture, he's never going to see a picture because I got enough of them.
Yeah.
Sure.
That I can find 70 people that have never done that to me to post a picture of their car.
So, yeah. So you post pictures of cars that you figure are going to
Make me
buy
money.
something.
Okay, it's a teaser.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the interesting thing for me. So, obviously, I like old cars, right?
Right.
I'm an old car guy. I'm attracted to old cars. That's what I shoot most of the time.
Right.
A lot of these events now are allowing new cars, 2019 Challenger or whatever, right? So I bypass those cars. I don't look at those cars as much. Those are the ones, though, that are asking me, "Hey, do you have a picture of my car?" And I'm like, God, man, it's always the dude that you didn't get.
Yeah.
I've gotten 5 people from Muscle Cars at the Strip. I took 5,000 pictures at Muscle Cars at the Strip, and I've had like 5 people contact me, "Hey, man, do you have my car?"
Yeah.
Or whatever. I'm like, how do I not have it? I was all over the place, but because I was over here, there's still stuff going on over here,
Yeah.
so I just didn't get over there, and it's like, man, crap.
And I get that drag racing.
Yeah.
And I'll tell the guy, when you run left lane for all 3 time trials and your 2 first passes, and you see me in the left lane, you're not getting a picture.
Yeah.
You did 3 time trials.
Yeah.
You chances are you're going to have to run in each lane, right?
Right.
Run in the other lane
Yeah.
for one of your time trials.
Change the lane.
Now, I've had at gasser events when they're running just for exposition, I've told them, "Look, first round, I'm right lane, and I'm going to stay there first and second round. Change lanes. That way I can get another picture of the other guy, and I get you in the background on the other lane." I go, the rest of the weekend,
Yeah.
I don't care what you do because you could break third round.
Yeah.
At least first round, I get everybody that was in the right lane. And if you swap, I get everybody on that second. And because we have like a driver's meeting and I stand there and again, it's just for filler. They're having fun.
That's good, though.
They do that.
Yeah.
And I tell them
Yeah.
that. You're going to help me help you get a picture of your car.
Right.
Then after that, I can go anywhere I want and shoot
See,
any
that-
car
that-
I want.
That's good, though, that they're that in tune with you, that they, because, like, I go to something, I'm not talking to the
Right. No.
classes
Yeah.
or anything,
And
But you're
last
right.
weekend, bracket race, kind of the same deal. A couple of people contacted me. I'm like, I can look and I can see you in the right lane behind the car I was shooting. And it's like, that's where I like to shoot because I like the building in the background. I like the way the sun is, and it's like I'm not going to run across the track to get one crazy picture of your car. I can't do that because you stage and run up there so fast. It's like, and it's just me. Now, if Cole and I partnered, we could be in opposite lanes, and then we'd be going through different cards. But it's like
Auto Enthusiast Network. I just picked up 2 right there.
and it's
awesome.
But I haven't done a lot for people.
Yeah.
Because again, I do this to find my peace, and it's like my therapy.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
you're doing it for
if I
fun.
got to answer to you at the end of the night with delivering something, it's no longer peace for me, right?
Yeah.
So it's like to keep it fun.
Yeah.
Group I hang
for
out
you-
with.
for
It's like
you, it's not about
they're
money,
feeding me, they're
right?
boozing me, they'll hey, come pick me up. They'll drive their gasser back up to pick me up and take me back to the pits. It's like
That's
it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
You know, they tip me. It pays my gas money. It pays usually for my hotel. Gives me $100 or so, $150 to put towards my next camera piece.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that to me, it's like I don't have a race car. I mean, I moved to the Mid-South as an adult man. It's like, how do you make friends as an adult when you move places? You find things you like to do that you have in common with people and hang out with them. And it's like, this is the group that I wish I'd been probably born in that era or had that type of car or been able to,
Absolutely.
hearing their stories of like sneaking into the drag strip, getting dropped off Friday by the step boyfriend, sneaking in, finding a race car guy that'll let them watch their trailer and change tires or check tire pressure, spending the whole weekend at a race, and then getting picked up by step boyfriend on Sunday afternoon to go home. And the stories they tell, it's like,
Oh, that's great.
that's amazing stuff. And I mean, that was back in the 60s and 70s when racing was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like,
that's the years we like.
Yes. Yeah.
and it's like, I'm like, wow. My first race was 2014.
Wow.
Wow,
So it's
really?
like,
Wow.
Or 2013, Super Chevy Show.
Really?
Yeah.
That was your very first
Very
race?
first,
I bet he beat you.
probably.
Yeah.
ADRL at Memphis in April of 2009.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Now,
didn't.
that was your first race to shoot, right? Or
No,
was it-
that was the first race I ever went to.
Really?
First race
Okay.
I shot. Oh man.
I shot the first race I went to.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I had
man.
no reason to go other than I had
yeah.
a camera and I was looking for an event. I was
Dude, I
like,
bet
there'll be race cars. I'll go take pictures.
I bet I was 4 or 5 probably the first race I went to.
I
Wow.
met Clay Milliken my first race.
Oh, that's
Huh?
cool.
I didn't even know who
You
he
met
was.
Clay?
So Michael Hall
Yeah.
works with me at my place of business, and I knew he was supposed to be at Super Chevy Show. So I'm on the spectator side. I sent him a text. I said, "Are you up here at Super Chevy Show?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm over here on the pit side by the sign." So I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna walk over." He goes, "Well, come on over." So I walk over there. I get there, and he's like, "We're getting ready to go staging, so hop on the 4-wheeler and go up there with us." We go up there, and it's Lee Milliken, and it's Cliff, and it's Michael Hall. Clay didn't know him at the time, was helping them.
Yeah.
We all go up to staging. Mike goes, "Go stick your arm in there and tell them you're with Team Michael Hall, and they'll put a wristband on you." Okay. Next thing I know, I'm up on the starting line. And it's like, who was the starter? The old starter.
Oh,
We've talked about him on the show,
I
man.
don't, well, you're talking about not NHRA.
Was it Augie?
Augie.
Yeah.
The Augie was for Memphis Motorsports Park. You were thinking about Buster from
yes, I
NHRA.
was. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Augie was my neighbor from across the street.
Really?
In Olive Branch. He sees me, pulls me into the starter box.
Oh, wow.
So I've never been to a Super Chevy show in my life.
Yeah.
I filled a card from like the top of the bleachers. I'm standing in the box, deleting pictures as fast as I can to make room on my card. Because I'm like, I'm right here. I'm right here in the middle of all this. I think I stood there for 6 hours. I had to pee so bad because I was like, if I walk away from here, I'm never going to get back right here. So my first Super Chevy show, I went from the top of the bleachers on the spectator side to stand with Augie in the starter box taking pictures. And then when I went back to the pits, oh, hey, this is Clay. Da, 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 da. It probably wasn't until 2 years later that I even knew who Clay Milliken was. I was like, the humble dude that was hanging out with us in the track and was like changing tire pressure and doing all the dirty work.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I think for him, it was like, that's what he was supposed to do
That's
that
what
day.
he
He wasn't
does, yeah.
he wasn't the
Yeah.
driver that day.
Yeah.
It was Lee that was
Right.
driving, and it was like he was just part of the crew. I was like, he's just a slacker like me, part of the guy. No, absolutely not. But it opened my eyes when I learned later who he was. That like there was no chip on the shoulder, there was no big head or anything, and it was all just
He's a genuine dude.
Boy,
pulled,
I tell you
pulled
what.
me into being fun.
Yeah, I tell
Yeah.
you, that's one thing about his YouTube channel, by the way, is like what you see is what you get with Clay. I mean, like
That's him.
He is that dude. Like
Yeah.
that, it's amazing. He's so much fun to hang out with, and like always on it.
Well, I
Never
think
see
that's
him
where
down.
he is and why he's where he is.
Yeah.
Because you can find guys that can drive cars, but
Right.
not everybody that drives a car can be like that.
Yeah.
And when you have to interact with the amount of public
Yeah.
that those
yeah.
guys and how they represent everything that's on
Yeah.
their trailer,
Sponsors.
and
Yeah.
that shows.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
can always have a smile on your face and be silly, goofy fun,
Be on all the time.
Yeah,
The guy is
yeah.
always on.
Yeah, the podcast we did with Clay, we were trying to get it started, and we were trying to name different accolades, and we completely botched
Oh,
it.
yeah,
and
I
then he
screwed
stopped
it all
us,
up.
and he
Yeah.
stopped us. And said, "Hey guys, do you want me to do this?"
because he knows how.
Yeah, and he's
it's-
like, "Hey, I'm Clay
Clay
Milliken,
Milliken,
6-time
blah, blah, blah.
IHRA champion." Da, 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 and boom! It was like, I was like, "Man, that's awesome."
Oh, there you go. That's Clay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Intro by Clay.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
you could have stopped me a little earlier when you saw that I was really struggling,
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I had it actually all written down, but it was in my bag, and we started, and I was like, oh. So I'm like, the Parts Plus, great clips,
Top
six
fuel,
time,
6 times,
I think
yeah.
6 times. I was like, and then finally he stopped me. He was like, all right,
I got it.
I got it. I'm like, okay, thanks, man.
There you go. Good dude, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I swear. I want to have him on again. We're actually supposed to have him come out here and do some racing.
Punishing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do some racing on the slack car track.
I'll say this though about photography for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't know you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know most of the people that I hang out with out of work, and that's
Yeah.
y'all are my family, whether you know it or not, because it's like,
Yeah.
it's who I want to do things with. I have a day job to be able to allow myself to go do this things with my people outside, and then I have a wonderful wife that allows me to do things, and she can erase anything off the calendar that's mine at any time. She knows that.
Right?
Nothing's in permanent Sharpie. It's all in dry erase. And sometimes I go, was there something there? Yeah, there's you taking me out to dinner. Okay. That's a good thing.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Yes, exactly.
That's funny.
Exactly.
I'm the same way. But, like,
Hey.
so some photographers are not willing to talk and help others, Like, to me, I did like the light painting thing, right? I had one photographer that wanted to see how to do it, and I showed him and all that kind of stuff. And there was another one that wanted to. I said, come on, And so the only thing that I asked was like, well, don't, if you don't mind, don't post photos from this thing, right? This is my thing, like
Right.
here, whatever. If you want to use it someplace else, on other cars or whatever, then that's cool. I
violated that
just
on my
appreciate
first
it, right?
photo
Like,
shoot. I'm sorry.
oh no, that's fine. that photo shoot didn't matter. I mean, that one was for fun anyway,
Right.
for the most part. But so that one just got absolutely pissed at me. I do what I want. I'm a grown man, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I'm just like, I'm showing you how to do something that you can use later on.
Right.
And, it's not proprietary to me, right? People have been doing this forever. But I think it's a little bit different than the way that some people do it. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe other people have done it before. I don't know. I just did it, and it was like, oh, okay, I'll try it, and this is how it goes. And but that guy got livid with me, and like we're not even friends on Facebook anymore, So it was like,
Really?
okay, and I can't wait to see the guy at Street Machine Nationals. But there was another one there at Street Machine Nationals that he was like, yeah, okay, I understand, no problem. And he's posted photos since then. I don't care, But like that right there, right then, he's even used some of photos that I've taken, and like he has a thing that he's doing with Photoshop. I don't even know what it is, but like kind of makes it look like neon on the all the different edges of the car and stuff.
Right.
So it's really cool. I don't know if it's an app or if it's Photoshop or what it is, but it's kind of neat, something different. That's his thing. But he's used some of my photos that I've taken. I'm like, I'm fine with that. I don't care. That's not a problem.
Right.
But, it just, I don't know. To me, it's like some guys just seem like, especially when I first started, the very first drag strip shooting that I did was Outlaw Streetcar Reunion out there at MIR. Yeah. And man, that's a clique of people. Like all those photographers, they all know each other. I was probably a little bit older than them and way less experienced. I mean, I was just shooting them because they were in town, right? Like
right.
I was, because I did it for the magazines that we were doing. I was like, maybe I can get something. I had no idea what I was doing. And so Brian, what's his name now? Brian Hogan, yes, Brian Hogan, up in Bowling Green. He like answered my questions, and I was like, man, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. I was just straight up like, hey, I'm an idiot, whatever. They make fun of cell phone media and stuff like that, but I was like, I just need some help here. What I need to set it to and all that. And he helped me out a lot. So I appreciated that. But other guys are not the same. So it's kind of funny to me how I don't know if you guys have come across that at all. It seems to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet you being younger probably too. I bet you get some from
around.
old stodgy bastards like me.
Well, I'm not going to speak too much about it, but no, I'm around it all the time. I get it.
Yeah. So I don't think we ever got to like how many photos do you think you normally edit from a weekend?
So, like I was saying, I start on Monday, and that's just my day to cherry pick and sort through everything.
Yeah.
That'll be my initial import into Lightroom. And then Tuesday, editing starts. So, like, I just got back from Texas. I think I shot a little over 3,500. Okay. Narrowed that down to, I think, right at 500.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then whatever comes out of that 500 will be my final album that goes to Facebook and everywhere else.
Okay. Do you, when you post that final post or whatever, are you pretty much trying to get like maybe one shot of each car kind of thing? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Or, because I'm always worried about like, hey, if I don't take a picture of this car, like it always happens, that's always the guy that wanted the photo, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of just shoot.
Put the good ones
If I
out
get it, I get it. If I don't, look, hey, I'm sorry. Whenever I see you next, I'll make sure I get one for you.
Yeah.
But I just go do what I do.
Yeah.
And
Just more or less get on the radar of like,
Yeah.
all right, if I didn't get you this time, I'll get you next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, I want to get as many people in their cars as I can, but at the same time, it's like, it's about so much more than just the cars. It's the people there, because if, there was no people, the event wouldn't even be happening.
Yeah.
Right? So, I always try to cover...
Y'all are both way better at that than I am, by the way. But yeah.
I always try to cover as much as I can of the whole event instead of just the cars. Like, I like to try and get as many of... I know I've shot... How many photos of you, Brian? A bunch, probably.
Every time.
Yeah, y'all do that
I
all the
always try
time
to
too.
get
I'm like,
some.
damn, I never think of that. Like,
But,
just don't do that.
as many of like the track crew as I can get, drivers, crew, their family. I mean, what else?
You go into the pits and show them.
Get around the pits. Maybe even get like a good sunset shot over the pits from like the top of the stands or something. Like I did that at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Really just try to mix it up, give a good variety, because somebody gets on Facebook, they want to go look at your album, and they see 150 or more wall shots, 3/4 shots of the same
Really,
car.
really,
You're
really.
never gonna get anywhere like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, question for you two:
Yep.
when you see a photographer post an album, right?
Yes.
How many pictures are you going to look through? Be honest.
A lot of times.
You see down there.
A lot of times
see
the
down
5
there,
that are
it
in
says
the
500 plus, and it's like,
No.
Oh God.
No.
seriously. I see people go to
Yeah.
an event and they'll do an album up, 500 pictures, and I'm like, dude, even on the best internet, on the best day, I'm not sitting there and scrolling up through 500 pictures. And it's like, and the next day, you got no album.
Gotcha.
The next day, no album. And then it's 5 days later, your next event. And I was like, like maybe 40 pictures across 5 days to get your 200 picture album out there.
Sure.
I can scroll through that. And if you're, I don't think I've ever looked at Facebook on a PC ever. Seriously. I mean,
Oh, really?
only place I've looked at it is on my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
hardly ever look at my phone.
I don't upload any of my pictures from a PC. It all goes from my phone to Facebook.
Yeah,
as
you're
weird
so
as that
much
is.
you're so much better with a phone. Than I am.
But it's like, to me, I want a stream of, I would rather have a constant stream to my page than one bump.
Yeah.
And then there's
Agreed.
nothing the next day, nothing the next day, and if I'm thinking from like a sponsor standpoint,
I'm horrible at that though. I'm like Cole. I get so busy or whatever on something else.
Yeah.
I'll post and then I won't post
but
again.
like I said, it's like not gonna happen tonight. But yesterday night, I did 80 pictures.
Yeah.
So that I had 20 to post today when I get
Yeah.
home.
It's funny, they have schedulers and stuff, right, in Facebook and all
I don't
that.
do any of that.
I swear, I've got it. I use it.
I use
I'll
schedulers.
I'll use it at work.
Yeah.
I'll use it at work, but man, here's my deal: is they're like, oh, we'll schedule it all out. Well, like I still run into the same problem with the damn scheduler as I do as if I'm doing it live. Like I'm still like I still got to post it. So
Right.
I just don't.
I'll
never
do it
take the
all
time
in.
To do it all.
I'll do it all in and then go to cancel and it'll say save as a draft. Save.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow morning at 4:30 on my way to work when I'm at the parking lot, I can go
Yeah.
boop and post it. Somebody's like, you did all that shit at 4:30. No, I did all that at 9 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
All I did was hit send
Yeah.
or post.
Way better. Than me.
So I've got a quick question: drones or no drones?
Man.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well,
I want one
In certain
to
situations,
throw up.
I would like one. Yeah.
I just want one to throw up so that when the stands are packed and the parking lot's packed,
Right.
that I can have just an overhead, pop, bring it back
Sure.
down. And then in personal life, I live out in the country and there's like a pond and stuff
Yeah.
around, a lot of deer and wildlife I'd like to go out and check
and
out. with.
torture. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got you. Okay.
I got dogs that'll torture.
So I've got another one, and I've given Sean grief about this. Wedding photography. Do you guys cross that line being a car photographer? Is it something you do, or?
I haven't yet.
Okay. Well, I know Sean has done one, but it looked cool. The one you did looked
Yeah,
really cool, man.
It was cool. So I was not the first shooter though. So like I helped a buddy who had he needed someone. He's like, please. I'm like, dude, like I've never shot. And he's like, look, I just need somebody to get kind of the crowd, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, cool. Well, it was really cool because it was an Indian wedding, like from India. It was awesome.
Wasn't it really like all day type event?
Yes. And I
That's
mean, colors and
Looked great, man.
singing
Yeah,
and
looked
balls.
cool.
It was nuts. I mean, it was really, really cool to see the culture and the way that things went, and the food was freaking awesome. So,
so you asked.
Yes.
yeah.
I remember what it was like when I made my wife that I'm married to mad. I don't want to have any part of making somebody else's wife mad.
Yes.
Yep.
So I've been asked a few times, and I'll throw a competitive price out there, but it's not a drag strip photographer price.
Right.
And it usually prices me right out of it. And it's like, before you ask me to do your wedding, go find out what it costs to get a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because it's not cheap. And it's not cheap because we're going to put up with your mother-in-law
Right.
Right.
and your bride. And if it's a white dress, fucking white.
Yeah.
If it's cream,
Right.
it better be cream.
Right.
I'm going to be shooting raw because
Right.
if I get that wrong, I got to get it right.
Yep.
Sure.
And I can fix that. But it's like,
I say
again, I don't want to work for someone else. And like in that instance,
Yeah, and you're
the
doing-
bride
yeah,
is
you're-
the
yeah.
CEO. And
Right.
it's like, if she, it doesn't matter how happy you are.
Right,
If she's
right.
not happy, it's all over.
and you're kind of doing it for fun, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, so
There's a lot of money in it, and I would love to do it.
I know, but you know what? I don't want the pressure.
Yeah.
I really don't. I can always reshoot a car, but you only have one chance at that
gotta-
father-daughter dance.
Can't miss the kiss.
You can't miss the kiss. You
Yeah.
can't miss. You know, there's so many things that you have to be on to do. Now, granted, if maybe there's a planner involved that will direct you to where you need to be at stuff. All right, cool.
The
maybe,
most
but-
successful ones I've known, and I've known a few, husband-wife couple, she has a shot list
Yeah.
that she sat down with the bride and
Right.
said, what are we doing? What do you want pictures of?
Yeah.
Who do you want? What's the order? And like they show up and it's like the wife is there going,
Yeah,
it's time.
you over here,
I need
you
you
over
here,
here.
you
Yeah.
here, you here, because it's like you don't get 5 hours unless you're. I hope your photographer in the Indian wedding got paid a ton of money to shoot all
yeah,
day.
they did. Man, they
'Cause
did a
it's-
live feed back to India
because that's
So-
because that's a little bit different scenario than just doing your normal wedding. But
Yeah.
I'm not into it for like 7 hours. It's like
Yeah.
your wedding's like we're gonna meet and do like photos an hour before your wedding, and that's
Yeah.
to get all your bridesmaids and
this
stuff.
thing was 7 days long.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just did one day.
Did he do all 7 days?
Huh? He did, yeah. He did all. I mean, and they live streamed it back to India, and there was a theater in India
Where people could go and watch this live stream.
of people who watched the wedding at a theater in India. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Is
And
he a-
I'm like,
is he a
and
doctor
and I
or
was like,
business
that's-
owner?
Well, so that
I
was
mean-
my deal. I said, are these people like loaded or what? And he's like, no, that's
Just how they do it.
That's a lot of the Indian
the culture
culture.
thing,
Yeah, like
yeah.
it's such a big thing that like the whole village or whatever where they may be from
Yeah.
or whatever will go and watch them get married. And I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. But he got the job because one of his buddies who is Indian is a photographer. He was shooting the stills and stuff. I was actually doing video for that.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
doing video. So, because I was like, dude, I don't know how to do video, and I don't, whatever. And he's like, all you got to do, you know how to do photography. I just need you to point it in the right direction, and that was it, And so,
It's the
we did
people
that.
in front.
Yeah. So I was one of the shooters on the live feed. So he used the thing that was
Yeah,
Josh,
yeah.
and so he used a sling box or whatever, so that like we were switching back and forth like he did with me and Perry. Right. So like he'd be like, all right, go over to the left hand side, like this is gonna happen now or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I go over there, and then he'd be like, all right, switching to you. Boom. And he'd switch over to me, and I'd be filming it. It was crazy.
Wow.
I mean, there's so many things in the Indian wedding too, where like there's a whole thing where there's a sheet in between them, and they're both sitting this way, and so you want to get the shot of her looking at the sheet and him looking at the sheet, and
Wow.
they throw rice, and there's it's awesome.
It sounds exciting.
It was absolutely the most exciting wedding I've
And you
ever
had
been to.
no idea what was going to happen.
I did not at all the whole time. It was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. It was awesome. I mean, they had an intermission. like, it was that long. Like they had an intermission. It was nuts. So
So, guys, what's coming down the road?
yeah, what do you guys got coming up next?
Oh boy.
Yeah, Cole's got the most stuff probably.
Let's look at the
Well,
calendar.
next weekend. Well, next Sunday we're all going to Holly Springs, right?
Yep.
You're not going. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
I'll leave
Sorry,
Friday
sorry about
afternoon.
that.
No, it's all
But yeah, we have Hutch's Fun Day down at
Yes.
Holly Springs on April 23rd. Going down there, I won't be taking photographs.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be-
autocrossing?
Yeah, I'm gonna be autocrossing that thing. So
I'll be there to get shots of you.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, I need somebody to get shots of me. That's
I
another
got you
thing.
covered.
Being the photographer, you never get the pictures.
I got pictures of that.
Yeah, I know, but very real. So, all right. So where else?
That's canceled.
I've got
That's rained out.
Rained out.
Yeah.
Rained
got
out.
like
Yeah.
I think it's not funny. It's what is it? Nitro Chaos in Eddyville, Iowa.
Evil
Then
Iowa.
then it's Funny Car Chaos at Cordova up in Illinois.
All right.
Oh, cool.
Then it's Funny Car Chaos at Mocon,
Oh yeah.
and then they're doing their final at State Capitol Raceway in
Okay.
Baton Rouge.
So this is what Michael and Casey are running,
Right, but
Funny
it's
Car
also
Chaos?
what the Dirty South Gas runs. They'll be running at Mocon,
Okay,
and they'll be
those,
running
yeah.
at State Capitol. But I'm going to go to all of them anyways.
Yeah.
So I've got that going on. They're also running in Virginia in August, so I may go there because that'd be my chance to see some
That'd be cool.
East Coast funny
Yeah,
cars.
that'd be really cool.
Hang out with Tyler, or it's not at Virginia. It's in Maryland.
Yeah.
So I may end up going to that one too.
That'd be
Cool.
cool.
But that's that. And then anything that happens at Holly Springs or anything else that kind of floats my boat.
Yeah,
There's
around
an
here.
NMCA race up at St. Louis. I may go to that one.
That's cool.
I like shooting there. I'm from Belleville, Illinois originally, so that's right at my hometown.
There you go.
That's right there.
Yeah.
They got a really cool drive-in in Belleville.
Yeah, they do.
Skyview
Inn, I think it is.
Skyview
How
Drive-In.
the hell do you
When-
know that?
when I
Because
first
I've been
hey,
there. Because I drove up there for V8 Speed and Resto in
Okay.
Red Bud, Illinois. They have every year they have a cruise in up there.
that's
where
the
they
one
show-
right there by East St. Louis in a weird area, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't even know
that's
where
a
I live. Yeah,
drive-in
probably.
movie theater that when I first moved there used to have pornos showing up. I'm like, how do you do that on a drive-in movie theater that you can see from the freeway?
hilarious.
I am not kidding you.
Okay, I don't think this is the same one.
Jacksonville, Florida, when I was in the Navy down there,
Yeah.
same deal.
Really?
Had a drive-in, porn theater. Yeah. Crazy.
Interesting. All right. Well, what big ones you got, Cole?
So I was going to pull up the flyer, but my phone won't load in here.
What's that?
It's a 470 race at Holly Springs. It's May 5th through the 7th, and I think
okay.
it's $5,000 to win 470 door cars and dragsters. I may be wrong.
All right.
And
Yeah.
then bracket classes
so
on
there.
top of that.
That's cool.
And then
I'll be at Battle in Bama down in Mobile that weekend, and most of the guys are going to Blytheville for that weekend.
Yeah, the
Blytheville for the
Arkansas Mile.
Arkansas Mile. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, that'll be
be a
cool.
good one to go to. I was
that's
like,
cool.
oh,
What weekend is that?
The 5th?
4th, 5th, 6th, 7th,
Of-
whatever
of
that is.
May,
Of
right?
May.
Yeah.
There's some,
Like in 2 weeks.
oh, Cash Days at Newport, May 5th too.
There you go. See,
Cool.
That's
There's
how it
always
is.
something going on around here.
That's funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
no doubt.
if you're willing to drive within 100 miles of here,
Yeah,
there's several tracks.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
Sykeston's a little further than that, but I mean,
Yeah.
you can go to George Ray's, you can go to Newport, you can go to Sykeston, you
Kill
can go
George
to Jackson.
We need
still
to
like
load
one.
up and go to George Ray's. It's
I've
on
been
it's
to
a bucket
Georgia.
list.
I've been there once.
Have you had
Sure.
Have you had Tyler over here to do this?
Uh-uh.
You need to get him to do it.
Tyler.
Tyler Russo or Russo, he's George Ray's grandson that runs
Oh,
George Ray's.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd
I'd
be
come up.
really
I'd come up here and
Get
talk
it,
with
you
him.
get us to touch it.
I can do that.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I'm
Get us
getting
in
him
touch
connected with
That'd be cool.
Lynn Neal too to do his radio show
That'd be
because
cool.
he's
Sure.
doing a drag and drive for Arkansas.
Oh,
He got like his promoter's license or whatever that he needed in Arkansas. and he's-
Lynn did.
No. Tyler did.
Oh, Tyler did.
And he's
Okay.
promoting, like a Ford drag and
Oh, that's
drive
cool.
around the
That'd be
little
awesome.
tracks in Arkansas.
Yeah.
super cool.
Heck
Yeah.
Be
Yeah,
awesome.
I'll talk
I'd
with
even
him.
be down for that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him tonight and say, hey,
Hey, maybe
you
they
wanna-
need photographers to ride along.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Y'all aren't meeting Tyler now. No.
Look, man,
No. Hey.
it'll be the
I'm-
Brian Beers
I'm
Enthusiast
only-
Network,
The only competitor
Thought
I
we were
have,
family.
right?
The only person I'm competing with is me.
Yeah.
Is my next picture better than the last picture?
I mean,
I'm not competing with you because you've got a different eye. You stand at a different side of the track. If I'm competing with you, I'm knocking you down because that means you're trying to stand where I'm standing, which you're not. So I get people all the time. Are you standing? Am I standing in your way? And I'm like, if you were between me and the car, you'd probably be getting run over.
Yeah.
So no, you're not.
No, you're good.
But if you feel the back of my lens bumping you up against the head, that might be your
Then you're in
sign.
my way.
That happened in Toronto. I was at the zoo taking a picture of a snake, and I'd waited patiently my 8 minutes in line to get in front of it. And I was there, and I went just like that, and a dude stepped right between me and the snake. And I went with the bayonet right on the back.
Nice.
It's like, dude, you need to move. Most of the times I'm nice, though.
That's hilarious.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it was awesome having you.
Facebook pages.
Oh, yeah.
What's your Facebook page?
Beers
Brian?
photography.
Beers photography.
Like you drink with an S. Photography.
Instagram, same.
Same.
Beers photography. Cole.
Cole Thomas on Facebook and Cole Thomas CTP on Instagram.
Cole Thomas Photography. Is that what it stands for? CTP?
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm not good with that.
I was like, maybe I got that wrong. No, I check these guys out. They are some great photographers from our local area, and they get out and about, and I love their style. Like, both of y'all's style is really, really cool. I mean, even since Brian Beers, I didn't even get into this, but Brian Beers had the cover of Drag Racing Scene back when I had Acceleration Media.
I remember
and
that.
he had
Yeah.
a cool shot of JJ the Boss
Yep.
doing an arm drop with who was the
Don Gingrich.
Don Gingrich.
Yeah.
Don Gingrich taking off, and it was like down by the airport or whatever. and
Yeah.
it was,
Air Park.
Yeah, it was
Airport.
the early days of it. Well, the funny part was we couldn't use the whole photo because he had both cars. We couldn't use the whole photo because Discovery wouldn't allow it because it was coming out before the episode.
Gotcha.
But they let us use one lane
Yep.
and JJ.
Yep.
So yeah, so that was
very good.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, guys, I had so much fun. I know we probably made this thing so long, but
It's okay.
but
It's
it
okay.
was a lot of fun having you guys on, and I appreciate photography, and I appreciate people who appreciate photography and cars. So
Thank you for inviting me.
man,
Yeah, thank
Cole,
you.
I'm jealous as hell of you, like, because I would love to
Could have
do
started 40 years earlier.
just to do it
30
for a
years earlier.
living and
Yeah.
stuff. It would be awesome. I mean, I did do it for a little while, and I was going to probably get there, but it was, I decided at my age I probably am smarter to get a full-time job, so I did that. But
But
I
to
still
that
do.
point, and
now I have two full-time jobs.
yeah, exactly. But Cole's young, and when you guys are out there looking and thinking about possible careers, I mean, just swing for the fence, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, do it if it excites you, jump in, and then that's exactly what Cole did.
It is, and you know what? I say find a photographer that is willing to help you,
Yeah.
and you don't have to go buy the most expensive stuff. You don't.
not at
Cole
all.
has 2 lenses. I use 2 lenses. I have more than 2, but that's what I use. I mean, in my bag right now, I have 2 lenses, and I have another one just in case. But that's it. I don't. And
That's all you need.
I have a backup camera that's that one, but I don't ever use it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there just in case this one breaks. But you don't have to have a ton of stuff. Just go out, shoot what you enjoy, find your style.
Yeah.
It's crazy that us 3 could go to the same event and it'll look completely different.
Yeah.
And find your style and find what people like. And if you like it, cool. Shoot what you like.
Right.
Somebody
That's
else
the key.
Somebody else will like it.
Find something you're passionate about and put your style to it.
Yep, absolutely.
I fully stand behind what you say about you don't have to have the nicest gear because, I mean, I started on an iPhone 13 years old, and I got my first magazine cover when I was 16 using a Rebel T3i and a kit lens. That was it.
Nice.
Yep.
So everybody likes superheroes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about this. You stop time. We stop time.
Yeah.
We capture it. We keep it.
We're
It's still
superheroes.
there. We're
Yep.
superheroes in
I
a way.
like
We
it.
stop time. So I tell people, I may not have your picture now, but I will. And it's going to be that. It may not mean anything to you now,
Right.
but I'm always interested how many people, and I've had several people that my pictures have been part of like the wake.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
And it's like, you have people, when you get the daughter and the dad staging, Dad's not always going to be here.
Yeah,
That picture is always going to be here.
you're right. Everybody remember that. That is
Go to print.
That's right.
Get it in print.
Get it printed.
I tell people,
right.
get it in print, because digital will only live as long as you keep the file alive. When it
Yep.
changes, you got to figure out how to change that file to stay alive.
Yep, you're right.
Go to print.
Another thing is it gets buried in 5 billion other photos that you have that don't
Yep.
mean anything to you.
Yeah.
And it'll mean something a lot more to you if you get it in print. So,
Yep.
so
Go to print and support your local automotive photographers.
absolutely.
There it is. There
And
it is.
quit stealing people's photos.
Yeah, seriously.
Like,
Quit
you know
it.
what? Yeah, just pay them. You know what? I
Yeah.
guarantee you, they'll give you something for a digital download. Do it. Buy a print. I guarantee. I'll do it. If you buy a print from me, I will give you a digital download. You can have it because I'm
Yeah.
not going to do anything with it after that anyway. So then that's it. You know.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, all right, people. Thank you, and hey, we got more stuff coming up. We got guys coming in from Virginia for down at Hutch's, and so we're gonna have Zach and Scott Balsley on the next one, hopefully.
I finally get to meet Zach.
Yep, you get to meet Zach.
I get to meet Zach.
I know.
Which is an auto enthusiast. It's the East Coast wing of it.
That's right. Yeah, he's
know?
he's my East Coast. He's the only other AEN employee, and he's not paid.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That sounds
Well,
right.
thanks, guys. Appreciate it again. Thank you so much for being on. We'll,
Right on.
Man, we got to do this thing again sometime.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
See you
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.